Oh, yes, indeed. Welcome back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. So glad to have you back. Opening Arguments, Episode 6. I'm your host, Conlon Farrell. Today, a doozy, a pair of studs with me, Ben Shrader and Matt Tympanick. Ben, out of the Chicago area, partner at Hart, McLaughlin, and Eldridge Law Firm. Also, a chair of the Sports Law Committee of the Chicago Bar Association. An ace right there. But his opponent, just as talented, the founder of Tympanick Law down there in Sarasota, Florida, Matt Tympanick. Gentlemen, it's an honor and a privilege to be on with you. Episode 6 of Opening Arguments, kicking it off. Guys, anything to say for yourselves?
Appreciate you having us, Conlon. Hopefully we can live up to that billing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
I second that.
All right, guys. Well, I have my USA polo on, but we're actually going to skip across the pond on Opening Arguments. The first debate topic here is going to be the forcible sale of Chelsea Football Club by the United Kingdom. Is it justified? Ben Shrader, we're going to kick it to you first on episode 6. Go ahead, 45 seconds.
Thanks, Conlon. Under the circumstances, I think it is justified, and they are just that, extreme circumstances. This is unprecedented over in the UK, and admittedly so, the government is sort of finding its way through this sanction. Essentially, they've said Abramovich has to sell the club, which he brought from a mid-table club to global prominence, a world power. He's got to sell the club. He can't profit off that club. They've frozen his assets, and they've frozen the assets of other oligarchs in England. And this is about more than just forcing a sale of a business. This is about protecting a storied club, protecting something from the public trust. In laying down the sanctions, the culture secretary said, and I quote, "Football clubs are cultural assets and the bedrock of our communities." This is what.
And Matt Tympanick, 45 to you.
I would say, Conlon, that this shouldn't be happening. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers go to everybody in Ukraine regarding this incident with this invasion by Russia. That being said, Roman Abramovich did not order Russian forces into Ukraine. He did not order the siege of Kyiv. All he has done is he has taken, like Ben said, a team that was middling and made it a European champion twice over. And for him to be forced to, because he's being sanctioned, just isn't not what football is about. This is about retribution. This is getting out somebody that they don't want, the owner of a major club.
Ben Shrader, 30 seconds to you.
Matt, typically I'd agree with you. This is an extreme step. But essentially what the government over there is saying, without so much as saying it in black and white, is that Abramovich and his companies are supplying support for the war. Maybe he's not ordering the invasion, but they're saying that his steel company is supplying steel for Russian tanks. This is somebody who's long been a close associate of Vladimir Putin, long been aligned and been in trouble in England for various things over the years. Again, this is something. This is about more than just soccer, more than about protecting a club. This is about protecting the public trust, protecting the
Matt Tympanick, 30 seconds, final.
This isn't about protecting the public trust. This is about getting rid of an owner, because European football clubs have been taken over by foreigners. You have the Qataris own Manchester City. You have, obviously, Roman Abramovich owning Chelsea. You have John Henry, Americans owning Liverpool. They are just using this excuse they're using the cover of this Russian invasion to eliminate one of those owners and bring back control of European individuals for European clubs.
Short and sweet, even with time on the clock. Tympanick rounds us out of debate topic number 1 here on Opening Arguments, episode 6. Guys, both good points there, but I have to award the point number 1 to Matt Tympanick. Granted, Roman Abramovich might have seen the writing on the wall, and the UK using this now as kind of an out on their point. This act alone, just because in the past he's been one of Putin's associates, it doesn't justify his forcible removal of the football club now. Yes, it wasn't a violation just because he had in the past had connections with Putin or not, but that right now, that at the moment is not enough to remove him from the Premier League. I give the point Matt Tympanick. Now we move our second topic, back with the real football, American football, the NFL. We go Deshaun Watson. Now, that's been a topic across the sports law universe for the past 8-9 months. It seems like each week we peel back another layer of the onion, and it stinks even worse. And now we see a leaked footage of Deshaun Watson's deposition. We're actually going to play a piece of it for you this past week. And the question we're going to pose to Matt, and we'll kick it to you first as you hold serve here. Does Deshaun Watson's leaked deposition make a suspension more likely than it did prior to the deposition footage being leaked? And here we're going to play the deposition, a part of the deposition for our listeners and viewers right now. Here we go.
Under the Fifth Amendment.
In the depositions, Watson also faced questions about driving about a half hour out of town for a massage.
Meeting a woman at her mother's home and taking his own towel.
You don't think that's a little bit strange?
Can be, but I mean, we were communicating, so.
I mean, seriously, Deshaun, you don't think that's just a little bit weird?
I'm serious too, sir.
Oh, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just trying to figure out. Do you think
kinda,
that's a little bit weird?
I mean, it is what it is.
So, Matt Tympanick, the floor is yours. Deshaun Watson, leaked deposition making a suspension more likely?
Yes. The NFL is one of those places that are reactionary. They're not prevention. They don't try to prevent things. In this case, you watch that video, it is cringeworthy to hear what he's saying. He brings his own towel, keeps saying it is what it is. And it's like, when you think about the Deshaun Watson case, the ownership wasn't even at his actual announcement. They paid him $230 million, fully guaranteed, the highest in history, and they're not even there. That tells me that they are not only don't want to be pictured with this guy. I think the NFL is going. This video makes it more likely than not that he will be suspended, even more so than originally.
Ben Shrader, to you.
Yeah, I mean, the video is very hard to watch. I think for those of us, especially that do litigation and take depositions, do I think it makes it more likely that he's going to get suspended? I don't. I think he was going to get suspended as it was. I don't think this video is like other videos where it's as inflammatory. It's cringeworthy, certainly, but it's also a little bit boring. It's a little bit dry. And I think it's easily forgettable. You know, it's not great from a legal perspective, sure. And it's probably not great for his civil cases. I don't think it paints him in any worse a light than he already was painted. I think that he's just as likely to be suspended as he was before. I think he's going to get something in the area of 4 to 6 games in line with NFL precedent. I don't think that this deposition in a civil case is really going to change that.
Matt Tympanick, your 30-second counter.
Looking at that video, the NFL has always not done anything until the public makes them. Think about perfect example with the Ray Rice investigation. Everybody heard about that and what he did. It wasn't until there was actually a video that he got suspended and never played again. You watch that, and everything you've ever thought about Deshaun Watson is pretty much what you can see actually in that video. He looks smug. He looks like he got away with whatever it is that is being alleged that he got away with. I just think that the NFL cannot ignore that.
30 seconds. Round us out, Ben.
Yeah, again, I think this video is certainly not painting himself in the best light. It's not. There's not a lot of fireworks in it, though. I don't think it's not like other videos. You talk about videos involving Ray Rice or a video involving Kareem Hunt. We're looking at things that include violent conduct, truly tough things to watch. This is a civil deposition that didn't go as well for him as it probably could have. I think people forget about this a lot quicker than they did. I think the NFL probably already knew what he was going to say anyway. I think the suspension was the same.
Yeah, guys, both good points made. Ben Shrader, the point's yours. There was no smoking gun in this video. No, it wasn't a good look for Deshaun Watson, but how well could this deposition really have gone for them? Was, 22 things going to kind of turn out like, oh, wow, they were all lying. No, that was never going to happen. So unfortunately for Watson, it got leaked, but I don't think they found any new evidence from that deposition itself. That's like, well, we got to tack on a year suspension. He's got to be on the exempt list. I don't think it makes it more likely, and that was the call of the question. So Ben Shrader, we're going to go 1-1 here, even going into set number 3, question number 3 here on Opening Arguments, episode 6, brought to you by Conduct Detrimental. All right, guys, all tied up as we usually are by here. The third question on Opening Arguments presented by Conduct Detrimental. Well, Deshaun Watson's case been a bad look for the NFL. These two guys ain't helping either. Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commanders, and Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, both been in hot water this offseason for different reasons. But this week, AJ Perez from the Front Office Sports broke the news that the House Oversight Committee has received information that Washington has allegedly been keeping ticket revenue that is supposed to be sent to the league to be dispersed to visiting teams. Now, is this it for Dan Snyder? I have the question here posed is who will be forced to sell first, Snyder at -400 or Stephen Ross at +250. Ben Shrader, you hold serve here. You won last round. You go first. What do you think?
All right, Conlon, I love an underdog. I love an underdog bet, but there's a reason that Snyder is the prohibitive favorite in this question, and that's because he's going to be the one, the first ever to be forced to sell his team, I think. Not enough, of course, that he had years of malfeasance, years of a hostile work environment, thousands of alleged incidents of workplace harassment, a $10 million fine. All that is bad enough, but apparently wasn't enough. Now it comes out this week that essentially he's stealing from the other owners. You need a 3/4 vote from the owners to remove another owner. When they find out now that he's been holding back their ticket revenue, holding back their 40% that's obligated by league bylaws, essentially he's taking money out of their pockets. I think that finally is going to be the thing that puts this over the edge. Snyder has to sell first.
Matt Tympanick, go.
I think the smart money is on Snyder. However, don't discount Stephen Ross. With the new allegations that were coming up on the ability for Flores to actually amend the complaint, we might find out about other coaches who are in a similar predicament than Brian Flores. Remember, it seems like every month Dan Snyder is in another controversy, and every month it seems like he somehow gets out of it. Stephen Ross was alleged to have been tried to tank his team so that they could get Joe Burrow. With that goes to the integrity of the league. That is conduct detrimental to the NFL. With this situation, if the allegations are proven true in Stephen Ross, I'd put the underdog money on Stephen Ross.
30 seconds, Ben.
All right, man. The call to authority there by Matt. Well played. I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, about Snyder's continuing wrongdoing. We do learn about something new every day. Congress goes in to investigate one thing, and now they've opened up the investigation to all sorts of different things. He's now apparently keeping 2 sets of books possibly for his financials. That could put him in trouble not only with the league, but with Congress itself. And again, Ross is potentially harming the league, is potentially harming the integrity. Snyder stole from his owners, half of whom were on the fence about him anyway. I think that puts him over.
Matt Tympanick, final 30 seconds.
Well, the thinking being, remember how this whole started is they're doing the last misconduct allegations. They leak about the Gruden thing, Gruden allegations. I think Dan Snyder is so much on the league that they're going to make this sweep under the rug. However, nobody has that same, Stephen Ross doesn't have that much more over everybody else like Dan Snyder does. If these allegations are true, then the entire league will be under a microscope. I think Ross plus 250.
All right, guys. And that rounds out the 3 debate topics here on opening arguments of episode 6. First off, excellent work out of both of you gentlemen. It was a pleasure. However, Ben Shrader, your champion, as they said, Mad Max says to Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street, one of my all-time favorites, eventually, Jordy, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And that's what happens at this point. This is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back for Dan Snyder. The jig is up in Washington. You can't steal from Jerry's World. You can't steal from John Mayer. They're going to come and get you. They've covered for you long enough, but once you start messing with their money, both you guys, Matt Tympanick, Ben, you're excellent. Ben, you got 15 seconds. Anything you want to shout out? Your time to shine.
Yeah, no, Conlon, I just want to say thanks again for having us. And Matt, thanks again for being here with me. I'd love to have a rematch sometime on any topics you'd like. This was a great time. So thanks again.
Yep. And that rounds out topic number 3, question number 3. But of course, we have our favorite. Who's being held in contempt is how we end each of our segments here, or each of our shows rather, here on Opening Arguments. And this week, it's Masters Week. Golf fans, it's your Super Bowl. Rejoice. It's here. Tiger might be in the field. But let's remember, golf, it's an etiquette game, all right? It's a gentleman's game. So don't be like these 2 bozos who are out there. They look like Johnny Drama playing golf, but they're heckling Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, some of the world's finest golf players out there. So remember, show some class, all right? Wear a polo.
Bump and run, greens are fast.
Bump and run, greens are fast. This guy just cut his grass.
You good? Yeah, I'm great. Enough.
Let the guy hit. And then, of course, this winner who had the nerve to put his phone in Brooks Koepka's face.
Brooks? He said beat him wrong. Hey, come on.
And my guess is Brooks Koepka would twist that guy into a pretzel. So let's just a quick reminder. This is probably how both of these guys look on the golf course themselves.
Ooh. God damn it. I'm telling you, it's the club. I just had it re-gripped, man. Something's up.
Come on, Johnny, let it go. You're having an off day, that's all.
Take another one, buddy.
The classic episode of Entourage, Johnny Drama playing,
Really?
Johnny
I
and
mean,
Vinny Chase playing
you don't
Tom
mind?
Brady
It's a
and
bet.
Mark
I don't want to be
Wahlberg
taking anything off in it.
for cash. Johnny Drama.
Yeah.
He showed up like Lloyd. Him and Lloyd was matching
No
outfits
wonder
in
I'm
the
getting
beginning.
smoked. What is this, custom? Mine's off the rack. Oh, yeah. God damn.
That's how we'll end today's show, guys. Don't be Johnny Drama on the golf course. Show some class, show some etiquette. For Ben, for Matt, I'm Conlon Farrell. Stay classy, guys.